I just realized you don't have any intro music again.
It's okay.
But hey, everybody. It's Cole and of course Tommy.
Hello.
Um, Today we're going to be actually talking about Zelensky and the start of World War III, Bitcoin doing a dead cat bounce, and whatever else we can think of.
And then bounced in the last hour right before we started filming because it took 2 hours for us to get going.
There's all these tech issues, man.
Also bouncing higher.
Yeah. So the dead cat is going higher. It's like kitten
Yes.
cannon.
It might not actually be dead. Maybe Bitcoin is alive. Stay tuned.
Right. And then also we did have some fun this morning with the technical issues, but also adjusting the name of our podcast because now it is no longer Death to Debt. Now it's going to be The Rabbit Hole. So you can see us on YouTube. It's a really cool picture of a bunny. So
Took a couple pics, but we got one.
yeah. So they got that going. And yeah, so subscribe there. Also, please subscribe here. We're gonna make it fun for you guys, and I'll just
Working on Apple.
Oh God, I forgot.
Yep.
That's very hard for Tommy to say because he's such an Android lover.
Ooh,
So
hurts,
for him
bud.
to say I'm working on Apple, he's like, oh, I think that's probably why it's not set up yet because Tommy is just deliberately not doing it.
It's because they want you to give up your firstborn, and you pretty much, I mean, you're locked in, bro. You got to get the microchip right behind your ear. You're tagged.
Dude, you do what the Apple gods tell you to,
you
and
just
you
have
like
to
it.
Obey. I'm sorry, Apple.
Obey the overlords.
We are not worthy. We are not worthy.
Android's
the
the same thing.
fire.
Android's the same. Android's on fire. It's the same thing.
Dude, Android. That is that's the people of freedom.
Yeah.
Android is for freedom, and Apple, no.
It's kind of like Trump and Zelensky, you know. Trump is for peace and freedom, and Zelensky over here is trying to keep the war going, man.
It's wild, bud.
Yeah.
Wild.
No, it's crazy. I mean, honestly, watching that meeting, a lot of people just watch the clips, which is a little misleading, of course. Shocker.
Yeah,
news
6 minutes.
Media and news is misleading. Who would have guessed? But there's actually a guy I watched the other day who has the entire thing and has it broke up into part by part. Because it started good. You'd think, okay, cool. Well, that's why he came there to sign the deal.
Talking, showing some pictures, right? I think they did.
Yeah, and I thought everything seemed like to be going well, and then it just took a curve, or took a change for the worse, in my opinion, because my wife was saying, she was like, well, I don't think it was really as bad as people made it seem. And I was just like, well, the reason I disagree is because you literally came there to make a deal and like literally going to sign and all this good stuff. And then now at the last minute, especially after talking to people over in Europe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what were y'all talking about that now all of a sudden made this deal blow up in our face? And now we're not getting a deal signed. And then you're sitting there telling us basically, hey, we need to fight this war against Putin. We need to fight him. And I'm like, hold up. We're not even trying to fight. We just want peace. That's literally what all Trump is wanting, is to end the war, not keep it going.
Yeah.
And so it's really weird that you say, oh, hey, my people, my people are dying, this, that, whatever. We need your help, but I want to keep fighting. So I'm like, it's just such a turn. So I don't know. I don't know what's really going on behind the veil.
That was the cool part about it, was I thought, at least, just completely looking at it from an unbiased, like no horse in the race, just to see the conversation live, like fly on the wall, like an actual grown-up conversation between two I'll call powerhouses, right? World leaders, having a real conversation. Now, people can say whatever they want. Oh, it was set up, bro. That was a 50-minute conversation, not a 6-minute clip, not an 11-minute extended clip. This was a 50-minute conversation that then escalated to where a conversation sometimes goes. And I know that it's uncomfortable, and some people are like, that's just insane that people would talk like that, bro. This is how things get settled.
Oh, yeah.
Heated debate. I mean, you're talking about a war. How else? This is not an easy conversation. So I just love the transparency. I thought that was super respectable, because we've never never had a view of a conversation like that.
Literally.
Ever.
And no, I think you and I are both on the same page with transparency. It's kind of like, that's why the whole thing with blockchain is so appealing, because it's just like, man, you see everything. And so, and even Musk was talking about maybe the Treasury should utilize blockchain technology to,
They'll
you
never,
know,
but yeah.
no, never, because they don't want to be that transparent. The government,
That's too much transparency
all
for
these
them.
people who are trusting the government, whether you're Republican, Democrat, you're an idiot if you're trusting the government because, dude, the government's not for you.
Correct.
Like I just like Trump. I like Trump. I like what some of the things he's doing, but I don't have my faith in just Trump and he's going to be our savior and stuff. Yeah, I agree. He can make things better and do things 100%. But I still don't have like my life is my life. Like I'm gonna do what I need to do to be successful or make it better for me and my family. Not
It's all
just
about the
trust.
family unit. At the end of the day, all you control is your family unit, and that's why that's the
100%.
family. Building your little empire. If you can make yourself better, you have extra to help your neighbors. Then you help your neighbors, and that neighbor can help a neighbor. So you just need to empower yourself, your family unit.
Yep. Starts as a family.
Government sucks.
Obviously for me, starts with God, then your family, then your
Correct.
community, and then like you said, then your country and then world, and it's a chain reaction.
Yeah.
But of course, what does every government attack? The family unit. Like nuclear families are no longer even really. Obviously, they're still a thing. But I'm saying it's just like the nuclear family's been just so messed with, and it's like
under attack.
Oh God, yeah. And it's like, and that's why it's like, well, back to the Zelensky thing actually really quick. It's like
so I already saw the spiral we were.
I know.
Starting to do,
I'm like, wait, we're going too far down the rabbit hole.
Like a day at work.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I love the new name of the show, the rabbit hole, because it really goes so deep. There's so many levels to just one thing, and it's just like it's just actually pretty crazy how everything is. And but I agree. I really like the transparency. I really like seeing them be on a national stage and we can see and listen to what they're saying and we can make our own opinions. Obviously, the media is going to be biased and twist and everything and whatever. Like, I heard people saying that Trump was in the wrong and he was being mean or whatever, and I was like, I don't think so. Like, even like when one of the reporters was talking about how Zelensky was dressed, Trump was like, "Oh no, I think he's dressed beautifully." And I'm like he's not even being a douche there. Like he didn't even care how he was dressed, right? It was just the fact that he was just like, oh, you're going to feel this. And that's when Trump snapped. It's like, oh, you're not going to tell us what we're going to feel.
Got a little booted up. He was like, oh, hold on there. Yeah, he started talking about, man, your cards. And I was like, you're painting a picture for him, bud. He does not have any cards.
I mean, Ukraine has nothing. Dude, Ukraine literally has nothing. And then, well, now they do. Because now, well, in quotes. Because, was it, who in Europe? Oh my gosh. One of the European allies or whatever, was it England or whoever, was saying like, oh yeah, we'll back you and support you and as long as it takes. And I'm like, okay, like I don't know how you're gonna do that because you're not even close to what we can offer. But
we've been 3 years. This has been going on for some years now, and all of a sudden, like we're just like, I don't know, like. I guess they just were okay with the status quo of continuing. At least I look at it like they just want to continue to pour money into the war and just continue to make, like what I'm trying to say is makes my brain blow up is like the left is so worried about making the rich richer.
Yep.
And what you're doing when you continue to fund the war and send over weapons and that money is not going to the poor people, I assure you. The Ukraine is not like some non-corrupt government. If we're going to send them a bunch of money, it's not all going to where it needs to go.
No, the billions and the hundreds of billions we've spent, it's not all going there. Dude, if Biden actually cared when all this started, does everybody know why this started? Because it's like the real thing that happened, and I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day, was because Putin kept telling NATO to back off Ukraine because NATO really wants Ukraine to join their elitist group of friends, and then that way they can have more power and control and hopefully eventually take over Russia. But it's like Ukraine was not a part of NATO, and there was an agreement between, I believe, Russia and the U.S. that we wouldn't bring wouldn't bring Ukraine into NATO.
I've heard of something. I can't remember the exact. Yeah.
And then Putin kept saying, "Yeah, don't do it," but then Biden kept like trying to make that happen.
Walk them into the war.
And so then Putin's like, dude, I'm gonna mess with y'all if y'all don't stop. Nobody listened, and now he's retaliating and saying, no, I don't want to have NATO on my borders and like putting a threat to me and my country now. Because that's the whole game, in my opinion, is that you have a bunch of elitists who want just total world order, and like Trump, he's not a part of that game. That's why they hate him. That's why they ridicule him, because he doesn't care about controlling the people, right? I mean, like just in America alone, you can see like he just lets the states run the states, not the federal government run the states, which that's how it should be, right? States running their own crap. And it's weird that people have a problem with that. Like, man, there's so many things we can go off of, because it just makes no sense to me that people are mad at a president who allows their states to choose how they run themselves.
I think people just don't. I think it's just it's like misguided aggression. I think they're just blaming the person who the media who they just are told to blame. I mean, and at the same time, dude, our state government, like, we're in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't like our state government. Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan. I don't think they're looking out for us. But
I think Abbott's pretty
rough. Could be worse. Could be worse. Oh yeah. I'll give it that. Could be worse.
But dude, look at DeSantis, man. Like, I don't agree with everything with him.
Yeah.
But I love the no property taxes.
Oh,
I mean, dude. Come on.
By example.
I'm like, why can't, like, because taxes are fraud, dude. Like, it's just, and we're seeing that, right? And everybody's so mad at Elon Musk. Oh my God, he's what is it? He's shutting down all these government programs. He's taking Medicare, Medicaid, or Medicaid, dude, or whatever.
All the programs.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he's not shutting anything down. He's just literally showing you, oh hey, this is a horrible a program because we're spending all this money or sending all this money to whoever, like all these NGOs. Like,
did you see some of the things? Like, I almost should pull up a list.
Yeah, no, there's a huge list. Please pull it up.
There was like
just read the list, please.
There was some DEI.
Oh my God.
Festival or some kind of show. Hold on, bro.
There's a lot, man, and that's this whole thing about like diversity and we have to fund it. I'm like, bro, like we said this on the last podcast too. It's like you need organic diversity. Like this crap of like forcing it down people's throats and forcing it into companies makes no sense at all, or in government positions. I'm like, dude, we don't like having a trans general or whatever, like that's not gonna benefit us. And that's a whole nother, that's a mental disorder, which it's been clear it's been that forever. And then do people in the community, that the very own community, admit to it being a mental disorder, but then they're like, oh no, we have to accept it though. I'm like, oh my God, it's just, whew, man, I get heated on those things because
there's just I think there's just a lot of layers. Like, there's a lot of different battles being fought right now at the same time. It's hard to almost put your brain on one battle.
But look, that's how privileged we are as Americans, though, man. It's like we literally have nothing to complain about, so we have to make stuff to complain about. Because it's like, bro, this is the best country on the planet. Like, we are so prosperous. We're crushing it so hard. Obviously, we're hindered a little bit with the whole Biden administration just doing nothing. It wasn't even his administration. He wasn't even there. But
he was a potato.
Yeah, literally, though. And it was just like, we are so prosperous here, and we take for granted so much that we have. Like the girls from the Philippines, they're going to come at the end of next month before our trip, and they're excited about going to Costco and going to Whataburger. Like, that's what they're excited about. Wow. And I'm like, to us, that's like, okay, that's like nothing.
Told us that a couple times a week.
Literally.
Whataburger, are you kidding?
That's what this double chin comes from, man. Like,
dude, double right there.
Double chin for a double water. But that's what I'm saying. It's like we like have so little to complain about when in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, people have their own problems in their family life, personal life. Obviously, there's things, not saying that to minimize anybody's issues, but it's like as a country though, like, dude, what the heck do we have to complain about? Like, we have everything, literally everything. I was like that lady at the bar the other day, the experienced bartender. She was talking about. She was even saying like, oh man, it's like I don't really travel around the world. I just travel around the States because it has everything you need. I'm like, I agree. I had that conversation with my dad the other day. Like, literally, we have. Oh, you want to go to some nice mountains? Dude, we got the Rockies, Smokies. Hey, you want to go to a desert? We got that over here. Arizona, got beautiful beaches in Florida, California. Literally, whatever weather or type of whatever you're looking for, dude, America has it.
Yeah.
Literally, we're the most diverse country on the planet, yet we're also the most racist, apparently, according to people, which makes absolutely no sense.
I heard a stat. I got a stat. A fun fact.
Please.
that if you make, I think it was $20,000 or $30,000 a year, you're actually a 1% earner on planet Earth.
That's absolutely
So
crazy, dude.
realistically, like looking at it from that perspective, I mean, it just makes your brain blow up a little bit.
Literally,
How fortunate we
to
are,
be
yeah.
poor in America is to be wealthy across the planet.
Well, I think the problem is we just have a strange, like our brains have a standard of living that they expect, and I think that we just have short time preference. We've talked about that a bunch.
Yeah.
The old short time preference.
It's
Yeah,
just
no,
weird though
it's
that people have expectations. Like when you think about it, it's like no one should have expectations on anything. Like desires and goals, that's fine. But like you shouldn't have this expectation that you're owed anything or that your life should be better than what it is.
but they
Because
do,
yeah, no, because I'm
or
just like
we
what
do. We
yeah,
all.
we
I
as
mean,
people like that's how
yeah,
we are, right? We're born
we're
that way
humans.
and we're sinful, like
We're flawed,
it's
but
about self, right?
yeah.
And so it's just crazy to me that it's like people have it because I feel like it's crazy because like when you get older, it's like you start seeing like, oh well, I don't sorry, I'm not owed anything. Again, yeah, like you said, a lot of people don't think that way, but it's like it's just obvious, right? Or when it's common sense because like you have to work for things you want, and people are like no, like that should be mine, and it's like, and then things like free healthcare and free education. Everybody who says that, in my opinion, is an idiot because as I would love it, right? I would love it, but look across the world in countries that are way smaller than the United States. Look how much taxes they take
Yeah.
to make that work. It's an extreme amount of taxes, and
Yeah.
it's still failing, and it's still costing more money every year.
Correct.
And it's you still have a ton of wait times for like healthcare. Education system is poor because no super solid professor who's outstanding in their field is going to go to a place where it's a free education because they're like, well, I can get paid way more for this elsewhere.
In the U.S.
Exactly. So they
So we
come
have the
here.
best.
And you have these bloviated colleges like Harvard, just like, hey man, like, we have billions of dollars in cash, and we can charge $60,000 a semester, because we can. And I'm just like, that's just great. Oh, well, plus
Wild.
the government backing student loans, which is the dumbest thing in the world.
It's another thing. It no, I can't. Oh, bro, my brain just blew up. You were talking about. Nope, it's gone.
We're talking about a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're definitely we've covered a ton of bases already. No, I mean, dude, there's just like I said. I mean, just right back to it is there's just so many. There's so many different things going on, different puzzle pieces. I don't know. I guess, dude, if we could distill it down to one thing. So like, pretty much what everything we talked about is what is the role of government? Like, what is their role? Like that, then we can kind of like add things to it because at the end of the day, we're talking about government doing all kinds of things. What is their initial point and their purpose? And I don't know. What would you say is the I don't know, top three? Like what's the purpose of government? Like at the end of the day, distilled.
So to protect us obviously from any domestic or foreign threats.
Yeah.
Protect our freedoms.
Yep.
So obviously, like the right to bear arms, the right freedom of speech, things like that. I don't because some states like California.
So uphold the Constitution.
Exactly, because some of these states, like I said, California, they get a little bit crazy, and then so the state should, the government should step in, the federal government should step in and be like, hey, no, you're not following the Constitution.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
obviously upholding Constitution. I feel that's kind of it, man. Like,
right? Pretty
just
simple.
upholding the Constitution and then just protecting us, keep making sure we're safe.
So they shouldn't be funding, the LGBTQ plus in Guana, or
no.
we shouldn't be
sending
protecting countries that
condoms over to the Middle East, or
yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just gotta come up with some rules, and I think that's the conversation that we gotta have just out loud with humans, with everybody. Is what is the purpose? Like, do we really think the government's there to give healthcare? I mean, well then let's just say that out loud that is what their purpose is, and then I guess we'll figure out how to work it. But I just.
But then that's the thing that people, I don't know why they don't understand. It's always about they want to give up the power, and like that's the whole enchilada, right? It's like you don't want to give one central power, all the power.
Correct.
Because then they control literally everything. And that's what people, I don't understand why they don't get that yet. It's like, dude, throughout history, we've seen too much government has always somebody, on comments on Facebook or Spotify or wherever you're at, let me know what government across the world has taken throughout all history, has taken all the power or controls mostly everything and has gone good for you. It's like literally, it's
I don't think
never
it's ever worked out.
like Singapore is probably one of the closest things to doing decent, but that's because like literally you spit or commit a crime or whatever, dude, they'll beat the crap out of you to where you could potentially die.
So the fear of violence or imprisonment is the only reason that you behave.
That's what I'm saying. Like your whole life's in fear now. It's like you learn to ascribe by this set of rules, and the only reason you don't go out of that is because, hey, well, I could get really hurt and be in a ton of pain and potentially die from these things. Like, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun life. Like over here in America, it's like, hey, dude, say whatever you want, do whatever you want. Obviously, there's consequences to saying things or doing things. But like, you have every right to do those things if you want to do those things. Hey, you want to chew a pack of gum?
Shot.
Go ahead, man. Like, buy as much gum as you want. Singapore is like, nope, we're gonna cap you and limit you. And I'm like, yeah, oh god. I hate when people litter.
I've never dug into Singapore that deep, so I will definitely have to have more conversations about that.
Oh yeah.
Because it is
Singapore's
interesting.
Beautiful, but just crazy.
I know we're not perfect, so like we have a lot of opportunity to get better in a lot of things. So it is going to be interesting. Hopefully we can, as a country, fine tune it, because I know it's a balance. There's going to be I even seen reports that Elon came out and said that universal basic income is probably going to be something that will happen. Like it'll be inevitable with the rollout of AI.
Yeah.
Like humans we won't have to do as much. We'll be able to do things very quickly.
Yeah.
AI is already doing a lot, and it's absolutely terrible compared to where it's going to be in 3 to 5 years. Dude, you know what I'm waiting for? Like right now, you talk to chat, right? Chat, as you guys like to call it over there in the quesadilla household. Chat. When y'all talk to chat, you ask it questions and it just tells you. Well, like, dude, wait till it I'm talking to it about a trip I want to take. What if I can just tell it to book it and it just books everything?
Yeah,
boom.
Literally.
I booked your hotel. Hey, boom. I booked your flight for you. Boom. This is your itinerary. Boom. Dude, 3 to 5 years. Chat is going to be that good. Hey, I want to make this meal. Order me all the ingredients. Oh, they'll all be there tomorrow. Boom. I mean, like, dude, we are right on the but I get goosebumps because of how exciting it is at the same time. If we can embrace it to use this to make us better, to actually we have the potential to make the world a really cool place.
Correct.
We have the potential.
But the only thing that worries me about AI, right, is that it has to feed off something, which is data, right? So it feeds off data, and it only exists because of the data that you give it.
Correct.
And so AI is so powerful, which is great, but also bad because if the wrong people get it, they can use that for whatever. It's kind of like, excuse me, when you search certain things or ask it certain things or whatever, it limits you and it's like, oh, you can't do that. But for something that's similar, like, for example, I've seen stuff about like, oh, say something bad about Trump, not this direct, obviously, but they don't say something bad, but then, say something bad about Biden. Oh, wait, we don't do that. It's like, okay, so that kind of worries me now because there's obviously a political leaning with AI that could, make people believe certain things, or do certain things. But then also it's kind of scary with I have Alexa and Google, and those things listen to me all the time. I right now they're listening
to
me
throughout the day.
Literally, they just randomly pop on, and I don't even say anything sometimes, or I'll say butternut squash, and it's like Bing. I'm like, dude, how did you get any? I didn't say Alexa or Google, and now you're popping up. Yeah, literally. It changes its own name.
Butternut squash over there? Hello?
Hello, butternut squash. Yes, master.
Can you help me? What's the weather today, butternut squash?
Dude, oh my gosh. It's oh no, it's raining with it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Oh, is that
that's actually a really good movie.
It's always listening, bud. It's always listening.
Oh, and that's what worries me about AI, because everybody who controls the AI, they want data. So they'll do whatever they can to get the data, whether
Correct.
it's eavesdropping into these conversations, pulling like it's like that stuff on with the iPhones, right? It's like now they ask you, right? It's like, oh, ask app not to track or allow tracking or whatever. And so I'm like, dude, no. Like I always say no because I don't want to give my information for free. But a lot of people, it's like with these insurance companies, hey, like with Safe Farm, right? Drive safe and save. We'll give you a discount. Well, of course they're gonna give you a discount because
your data.
Yeah, dude, you know how valuable that is?
I'm gonna sell your data.
The probably billions they make off just that alone, and all the just the information they could use for insurance and then selling it. Just it's all a game. Everything's
and also
just
monitoring your driving.
Oh
to
yeah,
actually get you if you drive bad.
Literally.
So not only is it actually keeping an eye for them for their product, but then it also can sell your data.
Literally,
So
they make
win.
a ton of money by screwing you by increasing your prices and by selling your data.
Cool. The trick is like you're totally right that depending on who creates that AI, it can be biased. But that's why we just have there's companies out there, open source software that's worked on by everybody, and that's why the AI that does it is going to be an open source.
I'm okay with that. Like if it's like Bitwarden, right? Which, hey, shout out to Bitwarden. This is sponsored by, not really, but Bitwarden. But I love Bitwarden for like my passwords because it's an open source technology.
Yeah.
And so, or I guess not technology, but you know what I mean.
Open source code.
Yeah, and so I love that because it's like cool. Like a lot of people like can make tweaks or use it or whatever. It's kind of like when people like what do you call it? For like was it polio? For the polio vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
The dude didn't patent it. He was like, no, I'm not going to patent that. I'm going to let that be free to everybody, and everybody can access that and use the information, so that we can
make
help
the world
people
a better place
and make
for free.
Exactly. I'm like, dude, that is how certain things should be. Obviously, not everything. Like with I mentioned him. I mentioned our favorite person, Breedlove. I know he doesn't agree with
Robert Breedlove.
Shout out Robert Breedlove. Come on the podcast still. We're gonna ask you every
second
podcast.
Episode shout out to Robert Breedlove.
But it's just like I know he doesn't really agree with like patenting information and protecting it, or having what's it called IP. But it's like to an extent I agree with him, right? It's like, dude, like when you share information.
Like I agree more with him than I don't agree with him.
Like exactly.
If I had to say yes or no, I'd say no.
Oh yeah.
Like if I had to if there was no middle ground, it was either yes or no, it'd be no copyright.
Oh, gotcha.
I would say that would keep the market as free as humanly possible.
100%. And it's just like because that's the thing, corruption. So greed, it always just leads to corruption, right? And that's what we see through the governments. That's what we see through these institutions that we live around. And then what do they tell you? Buy, consumerism. Yep. So now you have people running these companies who are led by greed and making a ton of money and just having power and control, who then tell you or make society and all their buddies tell you, hey, you need to tell them to buy things to make them happy. And so then now these people are just instilling that in their children, and like just following the same game plan. It's just consumerism, man. It's
number one
it's a
consumer nation right here. I mean, we do it right.
I'm pretty sure we outspend more than multiple companies' GDPs combined.
Oh, easily.
Did I say companies or countries? Countries is what I meant. But it's like literally, I think we could easily. I mean, what is it like? How many trillions do we? Can you look that up real quick? The amount of trillions we spend a year just America. Because it's probably just like an insane number. I can't talk. Insane number.
I can only do one thing at a time. My brain is going to blow up. So you'll have to keep talking.
I know it's like when you're working. Yeah, you can't do anything pretty much.
Spent in. We Google so you don't have to. No problem.
Yeah, literally. How much do Americans spend?
I should have just asked the old Google. I got it right here. Nope, that's the federal government. That's not what humans spent.
Man, it's Tommy too slow over here. T2S.
Dude, that's fine. If you have any desire to find it faster, it's all about government spending. That's all. The
average household.
There you go.
Spent $77,280 per year.
Whew.
That's absolutely insane.
I think that's more than the average wage too. So that means credit card debt, which is at an all-time high.
What is it per? I think per household.
Don't know it, but anybody can Google
it. Per
individual,
I believe, is like 90 grand.
It's a lot. there's quite a balance right now.
No, it's absolutely
On the
insane.
books.
Yeah, in the second quarter of 2023, the average American owed $103,000 in consumer debt.
Yep.
That's absolutely insane.
That's a chunk, bro. That's a chunk.
And then per household, I know that's probably like 150. Oh no, is it us? Is it only 105? Okay, there you go. That doesn't make
Well,
sense
that's
though.
good per
How could
household.
yeah, but how could an individual be 103 and then household be 105? I don't think that. Yeah.
Well, continue to Google.
Either way, over 100,000 in either case for anything, dude. Why do people have so much debt?
Bro,
That's
because
absolutely
the standard
insane.
of living, you got to keep up with the Joneses. So everybody's like, "Oh,
Bro.
dude, got a new Tesla?" Or, well, excuse me, that's not cool right now. So, new, whatever, the Ford Lightning, I guess.
Ford Lightning. God no.
Isn't there a Ford Lightning, right? Isn't that the
I don't even know.
Ford?
But
I'm not
anything electronic, heck
guy.
no.
It's not my world. Yeah, I'm ready for the cool half and half, bro. I just want my top to have solar panels and then just run on gas if I need it. I think a good balance would be perfect.
That's a pipe dream, my friend.
One day. Look, man, I'm thinking like Mad Max, bro, where they had like solar panels, and then whenever I can park out in the desert, because it's gonna be the post-apocalyptic world I'm preparing for.
It's gonna be so great.
Dun, 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 dun. But real quick, while there's a lull, and I'm looking at the chart. I've been looking at the chart the entire time we've been on. Friends, Bitcoin is at 93.4. It is actually up, about $8,000, $7,000 today, in the last couple hours.
Let's go.
So just wanted to say there may be some life there.
I like it.
So we will have to keep an eye. I know different countries are still probably accumulating. I know Michael Saylor bought more. So
recently,
clearly,
I thought, because I know we talked.
He bought it at
$2
the
billion.
dip. He bought it at the dip.
Oh,
so
I mean, I'm not surprised, but
right 84ish, I think he bought it. He probably got all. He probably got all in there actually, because it went down to.
He probably should have dropped another $2 billion.
He's probably working on getting some more money from his war chest as we speak.
But how does he? I was gonna say, who is he getting the money from? Because it's not all him.
He's doing this. He's basically selling more stock. The people are buying it, and then he's taking the money from the stock that he's selling.
Yeah.
And then buying more Bitcoin. And it's literally, he's got like this self-fulfilling prophecy of, and then the people who are buying the stock know what he's about to do. So they're basically giving him money to buy more, to accumulate. And then they just ride the wave.
You could literally just before you buy stocks to help him out, you could just have cash ready. Because you know what he's going to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, let me just wait for like in this example, right? Bitcoin dropped. Dude, pour it on a Bitcoin immediately. Then buy his stocks to help him buy more. Then he buys more, which helps the price pump up. And then there you go. Now you're.
It's scary though.
Yeah,
doesn't that sound like we don't want to make Michael Saylor too big of a balloon.
Yeah.
Because you accumulate. At some point, you will, chop some off, and you just don't. We need to be careful.
That's what scares me about the whole Bitcoin crypto world, is that I've talked about this before. Oh, by the way, consumer spending was over 16 trillion last year.
That's pretty
heavy
metal.
Which is stupid.
Lot of junk.
What scares me about the whole Bitcoin stuff, or the crypto space, not just really Bitcoin, because other crypto it's not really that great.
A bunch of degenerates out there and all the other coins. So
yeah, literally.
Bitcoin, if anything, yeah. Bitcoin or
it's like I just feel like it's going to be the same thing, right? It's like these huge conglomerates are going to have such a stockpile of Bitcoin, and they're going to be able to control it somehow or some way to where we can't. And it won't be. We won't be able to have. It's not going to become a fiat, obviously, but you can't, because it's it's limited.
Yeah.
But it's like. I don't know. I just feel like something's going to go wrong.
Well, there's only 21 million. And there's how many million? I don't how. You want to Google something? How many millionaires are on Earth?
A ton.
Exactly. So if every millionaire tried to buy one Bitcoin per millionaire.
Let's see. There's 58 million millionaires in the world.
Okay, 58 million millionaires and 21 million Bitcoin. So every millionaire gets half a Bitcoin? Did my brain just do that fast?
Actually, it'd be less. Hold on, right? It'd be less than that, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at this math, I mean, yeah, Michael Saylor, because he's one of the first ones to push it. Yes, he's going to have accumulated more because he's one of the first dominoes. But I think over time, as more countries start to try to accumulate this, it's going to break it up to where people are just going to want to hold it and not move it.
They'll get 0.3620689 point. Oh my god.
That's fine.
0.36.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Per millionaire.
I mean, but think like if you do that math, I mean, I don't know what the value is of Bitcoin, but it's high. If every millionaire tries to buy one Bitcoin, it makes Bitcoin very, very expensive.
That's what I'm saying. But then now you're only playing a rich man's game, to where I mean, you have obviously people like us that have Bitcoin, to where
it's been out for 15 years. I mean, like, and if anything,
but
this
a
is
lot
the
of people
only
aren't
game
in it.
But this is the only game that ever came out that gave the little man the shot first.
But that's the
There's
thing.
Never been a game.
It gave them the chance, but most people didn't listen or take the chance.
Unfortunately,
Dude, spending $40,000 on pizza. Sorry, 40,000 Bitcoin on pizza.
Correct.
Having just fun, crazy times with it.
And that business it for a hobby.
Was cool. Thank you for the 40,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, and it was some guy. I'm pretty sure how that story actually went down. It was some guy in the forums. He literally sent the guy. It wasn't even like he sent it to Pizza Hut directly.
Oh, I thought that's
It was a dude on the forums from the pizza guy who basically said, "Will anybody buy me a pizza for 40,000 Bitcoin?" And then a dude on the forum said, "I'll get you a pizza for 40,000 Bitcoin." So then he ordered the pizza for the dude, and then he sent the Bitcoin. Yes. So not like a direct like pizza to guy, but no, it is the only alternative that I've seen that can at least be an alternative that a government cannot control. There's nothing else on the planet. The government already has. There's an ETF. If they were going to ban it, they'd already shut it down.
I don't know.
I think the gate's open. Why would the government try to accumulate it if they're about to ban it?
Because they have a way of controlling it, or they know a way to control it.
They can't. That's the cool thing about Bitcoin.
That's what it seems that way, right?
Because the only way to control it is mining, and the government doesn't. They're not in that game. That's not the government's game.
I don't know. Because then they can levy taxes against it. They could do something to Bitcoin that's gonna. I mean, they already have what like it's a
China tried to ban it. Cole. China tried. China couldn't do it. If China can't do it, I don't think the U.S. can. And China's got the technology to actually watch everybody like a hawk. And if China couldn't shut it down fully, I don't believe the U.S. can. I don't believe any one country can. It would take.
Elitists around the world to join together.
The only way to shut down the network is to shut down every single computer running. That means I could have a computer running off of a waterfall.
No, so I don't mean they're going to shut it down and not allow it. I think they're going to allow it and have just us under the guise of freedom, just like America, right? Freedom in America is not actually real. It's like it's just this is all just an illusion, right?
So what's the illusion of Bitcoin freedom? What?
That's what I'm saying. They want you to stay in this world, believing we're free, believing we're whatever, but they're really pulling all the strings and doing all these things in the back, right? And so that's my thing, is that it's like, hey, we're going to give you this hope of prosperity with Bitcoin, and it's going to be great and perfect and blah blah blah. But then it's like that's what I'm saying. I don't know how, but I feel like there's just going to be something that they're going to be doing something in the back that we're not going to see, just like they're doing right now. We don't see anything. That's why, like we said earlier, was Zelensky and Trump talking on a national platform. Hell, an international platform, because everybody's watching.
But Bitcoin, transparent. So whatever they're doing in the background, everybody in the network can see. That's why I'm like, I don't know. There's no, like, if anybody's doing anything nefarious, it will be seen in the ledger. The ledger, which cannot be changed.
Yeah.
Like that is why Bitcoin is still around today. If all right, so like if there was a flaw in the Bitcoin network to be tampered with, North Korea would have already found it. North Korea, Russia, there's some hacker who would have loved the honeypot that is Bitcoin, which is worth, like Satoshi's wallet. If there was a flaw, Satoshi's wallet would be empty right now.
Yeah.
The fact that there is still 100 million Bitcoin in one wallet is proof that the network has not been. There's no.
Wait, 100 million?
I think it's like, yeah, there's like a million, excuse me.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah, my
that's
brain.
way over.
Every Bitcoin person probably said this guy's an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, no. 1 million Bitcoin in Satoshi's wallet, and as far as I know to this day right now, and it can be verified, secure.
No.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like as of right now on planet Earth, it has not been beaten. It is the only network not to be beaten. It is the strongest network we have. Powered by electricity. Powered by electricity.
Which is powered by coal and
Tommy.
Yep. Tommy.
Chingon.
No, Tommy,
Chingon.
it's not powered by your gas from Taco Bell.
No problem. CO2. I'm just helping. Hey, we're balanced, man. Emissions. We're going green. We're going green.
All natural.
But yeah, is there any other big subjects? We're at 40 minutes. We've done good.
We're at 40 minutes?
40 minutes. Big
Dude.
Yep.
I didn't know we were talking.
It's a double. It's a double.
I thought we were talking for just like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
We've been in it. We've hit.
Wow.
Yeah, we've talked about the entire world, solved a bunch of problems.
That's what we do here. We
Yeah.
make people's dreams come true and we solve world problems.
That's it. Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we talked about a bunch of stuff and a bunch of nothing at the same time.
Yeah, literally. It's actually kind of easy to talk this long. I guess when you're talking about stuff you like.
Yeah. Well, we were all over. We did not focus. We'll have to get better at focusing. I'm sure everybody in the audience will probably. Please, in the comments, do you want us to focus or do you enjoy the chaos?
Yeah, please let us know, because we do need to know if we need to tighten
try to
it
lock
up
in. Yep.
Or just
correct.
Just be free spirited.
Do this
and just roll with it.
Yeah. No, I'll. We'll have.
And let us know if you like the new name, because I like the rabbit hole better than Death to Debt. And we still didn't do the intro music, man. This was our time. Now we're doing outro already?
I'll throw that to the front. No, we don't do any edits or clips or snippets or anything, so we're working on it, but there's no edits, so this is all just all natural.
Yeah, and I'm wearing the same exact shirt I did last week. I did wash it. I am clean, obviously. I got a haircut and trim, so you can see the difference between the two.
I don't know about clean.
It's cleaner.
Jingle.
I might be ugly, but I'm less ugly.
You are slightly less ugly.
Yeah, because dude, having all that growth was just whatever.
Wow.
For you podcasters, I keep forgetting that y'all are just listening and not saying. I'm always gonna forget that. There's just
He's
no
got
way.
not much hair. Not much hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
You'll have to take a peek. Watch the videos if you haven't. But yeah, I think this one went well.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. Well. Hopefully we can keep it up, because just even if we suck, it's fun.
Yeah, I did have fun. And I hope anybody gains some kind of entertainment out of this. Hopefully our audio sounds better this time. We are aware that the first one sounded dreadful.
Poppy.
So if you don't listen to it, I don't blame you, because I barely could put myself through it.
We couldn't listen to it.
Yeah. So check. But yeah, any comments, questions? We still have our old email, death2debtpodcast@gmail.com.
Is that what it was? I don't even know the old email, dude.
I winged it. I definitely winged it.
Let me see. I think it was just Death to Debt, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm running it back right here. Hold on, bear with me. Nope, I don't even know what it is. Well, send us a comment here. We'll get our lives together.
You're right. Death2debtpodcast@gmail.com.
There it is. And we'll get a new updated email for contact. But yeah, we appreciate y'all. If anybody made it even remotely through most of this, you are an MVP.
Yeah. And we appreciate you following us down the rabbit hole.
Yes, we appreciate you jumping in the rabbit hole. And I guess we will catch you next week.
See y'all later.
Deuces, big dogs.